LA Rider is brought to you by Dudley DeBosier Injury Lawyers, serving Louisiana motorcyclists and their families for nearly 2 decades. Dudley DeBosier, official injury lawyers for the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign.
This is Paul Senior of Orange County Choppers. One thing bikers have in common, we don't put up with no BS. That's why after a motorcycle crash, you should call these guys, Dudley DeBosier.
Take it from Paul Sr. At Dudley DeBosier, we'll shoot you straight every time.
If you don't need a lawyer, we'll tell you. If you do, we'll help you.
And that's no BS. Motorcycle crash? Demand different. Demand Dudley DeBosier. 444-4444.
This week on LA Rider, TW visits Baton Rouge's oldest neighborhood, where a century-old grocery store serves up some pretty good food. We check out the Fallen Riders Foundation's annual Blessing of the Bikes, where they have drive-through service. Plus, we'll get a preview of Baton Rouge's newest motorcycle specialty shop.
All this and a whole lot more coming up on this week's LA Rider. Hello and welcome to another great edition of LA Rider. I'm TW Robinson. So glad you decided to spend a little time with us once again. This week we're at Road Dawg Custom Motorcycles, South Louisiana's newest motorcycle specialty shop. More on Road Dawg Customs a little later, but right now let's take a ride to Baton Rouge's oldest neighborhood and visit an old grocery store that serves up a lot more than bread and milk. It's just a short ride from the LA Rider offices in downtown Baton Rouge to the city's oldest neighborhood. Spanish Town was created in 1805 to accommodate Spanish-speaking Canary Islanders displaced by the Louisiana Purchase. It was laid out next to a Spanish fort near the spot where the state capitol building now stands. Mardi Gras is what Spanish Town is perhaps best known for these days. The annual parade, Baton Rouge's largest, started out with just a few dozen Spanish Town residents parading through the tiny neighborhood. Today it has grown into an event which attracts more than 100,000 spectators on the Saturday before Mardi Gras. The rest of the year, however, Spanish Town is a quiet and charming neighborhood, a collection of old houses, some dating back as far as 1823, a few apartment buildings, and a single commercial structure, the Capitol Grocery. Capitol Grocery has been in operation off and on for about a century, but it isn't what's on the shelves that draws me to the historic old store. It's what comes out of the kitchen. Whether you're looking for Mop and Glow or a Bud Light to go, you'll find it at Capitol Grocery. But you can get breakfast and lunch too, and it's all good.
We have a lunch special Monday through Friday, a hot lunch special. Then we do brunch on Saturdays. Robert makes a really good meatloaf. The red beans are awesome. Finn makes good red beans. The chicken Alfredo, they're all awesome. The spaghetti is good. So I haven't found one that I don't like yet. And we do Taco Thursday because Taco Tuesday is too boring.
And they serve one of the best hamburgers around.
It is good, and I think that kind of went with the reputation of the store when we got it. It's just your basic burger. It is nothing fancy. It's just fresh ground beef, no fancy seasonings or craziness, just a little salt and pepper, and good cooks, and they know how to cook it to temp. So just simple. I like burgers simple, though. I don't think burgers need to be fancy.
Well, that's a burger. And a good one.
Well, those fries, I always tend to eat the fries first because those things are amazing. They're like seasoned fries.
Well, we season them with kind of a blackened seasoning, but they have that crispy outer edge, like outside to them. I don't know what makes them that way. I don't have that secret.
Oh, well, that was a great hamburger and French fries, but everything I've had here for every day that I've been here for lunch is fantastic. Need to try Capital Grocery.
Whether you come for groceries, a meal, or just to sip a cup of fresh coffee on the front porch, Capital Grocery is one of those perfect kind of spots. Just ask Daffy. It's where all the cool cats go.
Capital Grocery is the perfect place to grab a bite or a cup of coffee when you come to visit the state capitol. Check them out. Stay with us. More LA Rider is coming your way in just a moment.
LA Rider is brought to you by the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign, a 501c3 nonprofit organization exclusively dedicated to promoting motorcycle awareness and rider safety throughout Louisiana and the nation.
I didn't see him.
She just came out of nowhere.
Oh, God, what am I gonna do?
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us. See us. Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
Save us.
Nearly 2/3 of all motorcycle fatalities are caused by distracted and inattentive drivers. Please, watch for motorcycles.
Thank you, Hammond, for making Hammond Harley-Davidson the #1 dealer in the state. Head to Hammond Harley-Davidson, your one-stop shop for everything Harley-Davidson. Already own a Harley-Davidson? Oil changes starting at $49.99 and free tire installation by one of the most experienced master techs in Louisiana. We'll work on any Harley-Davidson from 1903 to 2021. Brand new 2021 Road Glide special for payments of $215. Get top dollar for your trade on a new 2021 Road Glide at a payment you can afford. Hammond Harley-Davidson, serving Louisiana for over 20 years.
Want a high-quality used motorcycle delivered to your door with a money-back guarantee? At usedbikesdirect.com, you can choose from hundreds of high-quality American, Japanese, and European motorcycles. Just browse our website, pick your bike, get your financing, and arrange your trade-in, all from the comfort of your home. And we'll deliver it straight to your door for free, complete with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Buying a used motorcycle has never been easier or safer. Just go to usedbikesdirect.com and start shopping.
I didn't see him.
Watch for us.
She just came out of nowhere.
See us.
Oh, God, what am I gonna do?
Save us.
I'm T.W. Robinson. Even scattered showers and thunderstorms couldn't stop the blessing of the bikes here at Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Gonzales.
We're here to raise money to help down bikers and their families. We've got so many sponsors and vendors out that kind of gave their time to come out in this weather. We've got the blood bus out. That goes into the blood bank to help bikers, and it's bikers only.
You know, 2020 was a really hard year for us, right? And people were scattered out and they went through so much, whether it's on their job or health-wise, lost family members. And we wanted to have a great big time of blessing, just speaking over our people, that the motorcycle community, just speaking positive into their lives, that we are overcoming that and the best is yet to come, and just offering a great message. Hey, we're still here, we made it, let's do great things together.
Father, we thank you that his motorcycle will be mechanically sound and that he will stay healthy, Lord God. We ask you to bless his bike and bless him, and we ask this in your son's name, Jesus.
Getting back to the roots of the blessing of the bikes, to take away we're selling beer and we're doing this and we're doing that. I want to get back to the root of it, the blessing, to pass that blessing on, to be blessed and bless others, and get back to the root of it. And that's just Pastor T and In the Wind has been so just a backbone for us. So I can't think of anybody better to come out and give those blessings.
Thank you, Hammond, for making Hammond Harley-Davidson the #1 dealer in the state. Head to Hammond Harley-Davidson, your one-stop shop for everything Harley-Davidson. Already own a Harley-Davidson? Oil changes starting at $49.99 and free tire installation by one of the most experienced master techs in Louisiana. We'll work on any Harley-Davidson from 1903 to 2021. Brand new 2021 Road Glide special for payments of $215. Get top dollar for your trade on a new 2021 Road Glide at a payment you can afford. Hammond Harley-Davidson, serving Louisiana for over 20 years.
At Jandy Imports, we have everything for your ride. From high-quality leather jackets, vests, and chaps, to saddlebags, luggage, and riding boots. We have a large selection of helmets, too, and feature a full line of AMSOIL and bike care products. At Jandy Imports, you'll find the area's largest selection of patches, all sewed on for you while you wait. You need it? We've got it. At Jandy Imports, the little store with the big inventory.
Come see us at Jandy Imports.
I didn't see him.
She just came out of nowhere.
Oh, God, what am I gonna do?
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us. See us. Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
Save us.
Nearly 2/3 of all motorcycle fatalities are caused by distracted and inattentive drivers. Please, watch for motorcycles.
Want a high-quality used motorcycle delivered to your door with a money-back guarantee? At usedbikesdirect.com, you can choose from hundreds of high-quality American, Japanese, and European motorcycles. Just browse our website, pick your bike, get your financing, and arrange your trade-in, all from the comfort of your home. And we'll deliver it straight to your door for free, complete with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Buying a used motorcycle has never been easier or safer. Just go to usedbikesdirect.com and start shopping.
When things get tough, you find out who your friends are. That's why Orange County Choppers, we only roll with people we trust. After a motorcycle crash, get the real motorcycle lawyers. Dudley DeBosier.
Paul Sr. knows at Dudley DeBosier, we don't just talk the talk.
We walk the walk, and we don't get paid unless you get paid.
Now that's a deal you can trust. Motorcycle crash? Demand different. Demand Dudley DeBosier. 444-4444.
Support motorcycle safety and encourage other drivers to watch for motorcycles. Purchase a motorcycle awareness specialty plate for your car, truck, or motorcycle. For an additional $25 a year, you can help the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign promote safety, awareness, and training programs throughout Louisiana.
I'm T.W. Robinson. No matter what you ride, put a MAC plate on it and help support motorcycle awareness wherever you go.
Welcome back to LA Rider. I'm Tammi Arender. You know, the summer riding season provides an excellent opportunity for us to visit some of the significant historical and cultural places in our own backyard. I happen to be standing in front of the Biedenharn Museum and Gardens in Monroe. And this place is very unique in that it's chronicling the first bottler of Coca-Cola, and it also takes a look at the Bible. Let's take a ride. If you follow Riverside Drive in downtown Monroe, which keeps the Ouachita River in check, you'll come to one of the real gems of Northeast Louisiana, the Biedenharn Museum and Gardens. Located in the quaint garden district with its old charm and varied residential architecture, the Biedenharn is worth a stop. Although the Biedenharn name may not ring a bell, what Joe Biedenharn is famous for certainly will.
Joe was the first person to bottle Coca-Cola. He was not the inventor of Coke. He was not the inventor of the Coke bottle. He just kind of married the two together. Actually did this in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and then about 10 years later they moved to Monroe.
Ralph Calhoun is the executive director of the Biedenharn Museum and Gardens. The Coca Cola Museum is a trip down memory lane. It's also a history lesson because the pure act of bottling this carbonated beverage would be a game changer in how we consume our soft drinks.
And the ability to take your Coke home, because it had been a soda fountain item. So you would go into town, you'd drink your Coke, you'd hand that glass back to the soda jerk, and then you'd go home. But once you had a bottle, you could take them home, and that changes the way it works.
No, I'm Tammi.
I am Felicia. Nice to meet you.
Felicia, nice to meet you. I would love a good ice cold.
Well, you know what? You came to the right place, and you know we can't serve them no other way but in a bottle.
Oh, in that old-fashioned bottle.
In an old-fashioned bottle. It is only a nickel for today.
One nickel. I can handle that.
One nickel.
Just seeing all the different ways folks get their soft drinks back in the day. And of course, those light green bottles, so nostalgic. We often think the curvy green bottle was the first one, but it's not. It was this type bottle, and it didn't have a cap, but a stopper.
Push that stopper down, and it falls into the drink and make a real loud popping sound. And that's where they got the term soda pop from.
The Coca Cola Museum can show you the evolution of the Coke bottle and the other branded memorabilia that people have collected over the years. And now the museum is featuring other Louisiana-made products that aren't necessarily connected to the carbonated beverage.
If you live here and you have family that has moved away, they want some of those things. And so we're a great place for folks to come and pick that up. And also for the tourists who come from out of town, it's a little bit of our state that they can take back with them.
Next door to the Coke Museum is the Bible Museum, started by Joe Biedenharn's daughter, Emmylou.
You go through our Bible exhibit, you'll see a page from a Gutenberg Bible, which is the first book ever printed with movable type. We've got examples of the first Bible printed in what becomes the United States and the second Bible printed in what becomes the United States, both of which are not printed in English. One is printed in Algonquin and the other is printed in German.
And something new at the Bible Museum is the Images of Christ exhibit. It features depictions, both 2- and 3-dimensional, of Jesus, created by artists of various national and ethnic origins. The artwork comes from museum collections and private collectors. This gallery isn't about pushing Christ or Christianity, but the historical significance of the Bible.
We really, in the Bible exhibit, we look at it as a historical document, sometimes an artistic document, and we trace a lot of the development of the Bible from European roots, but a lot of it is English. So we have a lot about American Bibles, and it's a very historic document.
The Bible Museum and the Coca Cola Museum providing such insight into the history of two very different things known worldwide.
Nostalgic place. It's a great place for grandparents and grandchildren to go through, and you just see a great interaction between them as they go through, and the grandparents able to say, oh, I remember a Coke machine like that, or I remember a Bible like that. There are a lot of connections that people make.
It is a fabulous place. I've always said that the Biedenharn is really like a big city museum just in a small town. And what about getting an ice-cold Coca-Cola in an old-fashioned bottle for just 5 cents? That's the most refreshing part of the day. For LA Rider, I'm Tammi Arender. Back with more in just a moment.
I didn't see him.
Watch for us.
She just came out of nowhere.
See us.
Oh, God, what am I gonna do?
Save us.
Please watch for motorcycles. You might just save someone's life.
Right when I got at the intersection of Choctaw and Foster, this great Challenger just jumped in the turning lane and bust a quick left turn in front of me right while I was at the intersection. All I could remember was the big crash, and next thing I know, I was at EMS, headed to the Our Lady of the Lake Hospital. Sustained a pelvis fracture from the front and the back. Plus I sustained a crushed wrist, just trying to get back straight now. Plus I had 3 major arteries leaking, so I had internal bleeding when I went there, so they had to do emergency surgery to get that taken care of before they could get this here going. So actually I went through 3 surgeries. I had big daymaker lights on and all kind of other lighted up areas on it, you know. Plus I had a little noisy exhaust on it, you know. And I don't see how he wouldn't have seen me.
This is Paul Sr. of Orange County Choppers. In my shop, people don't mess with me. When someone gets out of line, I don't let them get away with it.
Neither do we. After a motorcycle crash, the insurance companies know Dudley DeBosier doesn't back down.
We don't let insurance companies push you around, and you shouldn't either.
Trust me, these guys don't mess around. Motorcycle crash? Demand different. Demand Dudley DeBosier. 444-4444.
Support motorcycle safety and encourage other drivers to watch for motorcycles. Purchase a motorcycle awareness specialty plate for your car, truck, or motorcycle. For an additional $25 a year, you can help the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign promote safety, awareness, and training programs throughout Louisiana.
I'm T.W. Robinson. No matter what you ride, put a MAC plate on it and help support motorcycle awareness wherever you go.
Want a high-quality used motorcycle delivered to your door with a money-back guarantee? At usedbikesdirect.com, you can choose from hundreds of high-quality American, Japanese, and European motorcycles. Just browse our website, pick your bike, get your financing, and arrange your trade-in, all from the comfort of your home. And we'll deliver it straight to your door for free, complete with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Buying a used motorcycle has never been easier or safer. Just go to usedbikesdirect.com and start shopping.
I didn't see him.
Watch for us.
She just came out of nowhere.
See us.
Oh, God, what am I gonna do?
Save us.
Well, as we told you at the beginning of the show, we're coming to you this week from Road Dawg Custom Motorcycles, Baton Rouge's newest motorcycle specialty shop. Let's take a quick tour of this beautiful facility and meet Road Dawg himself.
This was a dream of mine that has been way overdue. Kind of the motto of my shop is it's the shop whose time has come. Because of the inadequacies and the inefficiencies of the other motorcycle shops around here, I felt that the people of Ascension and South Louisiana deserve to see what somebody who cares and has a passion for loves what he does, what he could create. So what I did, the first thing is I love to build custom bikes, but I created a motorcycle shop from nothing. Kind of like what I do with a bike. This was a transmission shop for 25 years. It was in a horrible state of disrepair. So I gutted it and designed it to be as efficient as possible with the size I have to work with. And it's a nice open air environment. And then I also created basically what you would call a clean room, or a room that will have absolutely no cross-contamination from the outside shop. That's the way it's supposed to be done. Nobody does it. I've seen it. Only very big companies like S&S and people that build parts, they all do it that way. So you have your shop environment, you have everything gets sanitized and prepped, then it goes into that room, which is climate controlled, and also there's no cross-contamination of dirt, or, because out here it's a different environment. When you're putting the bike back together, you want it in. Plus, it's really cool in there, and it's air conditioned, and it's quiet. Okay, I'll be truthful. That's really why I built it. Okay, and it's got shades on it because I don't want anybody bothering me sometimes. But that's I learned a lot over my career, and watched everybody do everything wrong. So I hope people, when they come in here, what I want them to say is, wow, this is really cool. This is a cool place, a cool shop.
Someone in here that helps you with all of this and has helped you create
well,
what you have here?
As far as the artistic part of it, I'm sure this place would be painted white and not look anything like this if it wasn't. This is my wife, Kim.
She's the artist, okay? All of this design and colors and textures and palette that we created is all of her design, right down to hand picking the art. You know, I mean, this is nobody has a shop like this. When you walk in, we have art. I'm not going to have banners for tire companies and stickers everywhere. I want it to look like a man cave or the inside of somebody's house. That's what she was trying to create and successfully
because we're
created.
all a family here.
Yeah.
We're all a family. When people come in here, they're going to see the same people. They're going to see Rob, our crew, Will at the parts desk, me, and they're always going to see us. There's no going to be turnover of people and stuff like that. And they're going to get the quality of service that they deserve. Transparency and high-end service.
No. I started my career officially in 1988. I've been riding Harleys since 1976, so I'm not afraid to work on the older ones. I'd much rather do restorations on them, but the heart and soul of this shop is basically service, repairs, and performance, and routine maintenance. A one-stop shop. You need a set of tires, I got you, okay? You want some cool handlebars, I got you. You want me to build your motorcycle, I can do that. You know, there's really nothing that I can't do. And then I have a group of people that I work with as outside labor. I have a guy I can take to, if you need machining work, if you need cylinders bored, I don't have to gear up for that. You know, I've got a powder coater, I've got 5 different painters. So this will be, you know, an alternative to what's out there right now. And I'll leave it at that.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Be sure and join us again next week for more motorcycle fun and adventure. Remember, we haven't been everywhere, but it's on our list. I'm T.W. Robinson. See you next week on LA Rider.
LA Rider is brought to you by Dudley DeBosier Injury Lawyers, serving Louisiana motorcyclists and their families for nearly 2 decades. Dudley DeBosier, official injury lawyers for the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign.
This is Paul Sr. of Orange County Choppers. One thing bikers have in common, we don't put up with no BS. That's why after a motorcycle crash, you should call these guys, Dudley DeBosier.
Take it from Paul Sr. At Dudley DeBosier, we'll shoot you straight every time.
If you don't need a lawyer, we'll tell you. If you do, we'll help you.
And that's no BS. Motorcycle crash? Demand different. Demand Dudley DeBosier. 444-4444.
God bless chrome cowgirls like us.